Adrian's long-lost white moonlight, the woman he pined after for years, returned with her son. My daughter's 6th birthday party became a welcome reception for them. Adrian's reason was, Scarlett needs a sense of ceremony. We can celebrate our daughter's birthday anytime. I curled my lips into a smile. Let's get a divorce. He asked in shocked disbelief. Are you crazy? Over something so trivial? I nodded. You're so eager to revisit the past. I have no reason to stop you. What are you joking about? Adrian's tone was laced with suppressed anger. Serafina, there's a limit to how far you can go with this foolishness. Scarlett and I are completely innocent. You can slander me if you want, but Scarlett still needs to have some dignity. I gently swirled the champagne in my hand, watching the gathered guests surround the smiling, radiant Scarlett. The white, rhinestone-studded dress she wore made her look elegant and moving. Every step she took was breathtakingly beautiful. Unfortunately, that dress was mine. I had waited 10 months to get an appointment with Anna, a renowned foreign designer who had retired from the industry years ago, to specially design matching mother-daughter outfits for Arya and me, all for this birthday party that I'd been preparing for half a year. It had just been flown in from abroad yesterday. The man who didn't even have time to have a half-hour breakfast with me, and our daughter was willing to spend 2 hours personally picking it up for me. The dresses were back. My daughter's was a pile of unrecognizable rags. Mine was on Scarlett. She had replaced me and my daughter as the protagonist of this party. I chuckled softly, looking at him with amusement. Take off the dress Scarlett is wearing, and I'll believe you're innocent. Adrian clenched his fists, his face turning as black as coal. It's just a dress. Scarlett looks better in it than you. I was afraid you'd embarrass yourself, so I gave it to her. She accepted the clothes you didn't want, and instead of being grateful, you're targeting her at every turn. You're being completely unreasonable. At that moment, the MC called him to the stage. He rubbed his forehead wearily. Your reasons are absurd. I won't agree to a divorce. After he said that, he hurried onto the stage and stood side by side with Scarlett. His voice through the microphone clearly resonated throughout the banquet hall. Scarlett is a talented elite who has just returned to the country. She's also been newly hired as the vice president of Adrian Corporation. With her outstanding abilities, she will definitely help Adrian Corporation reach even greater heights. Taking advantage of today's welcome reception, I plan to take her as my adopted younger sister and transfer 40% of Adrian Corporation's shares to her. From now on, she will not only be my partner, but also my family. After he finished speaking, thunderous applause rang through the scene. The MC pushed over a 3-layer cake with a small model of our family of 3 on top, that I had custom ordered. Scarlett's son stood between the 2 of them, and the 3 of them held the cake knife together, as if they were a happy family, cutting down the middle of the model. The models of me and my daughter rolled onto the floor, and Scarlett's son stepped on them with disgust, saying, "So ugly, disgusting." On stage, Scarlett cast a mocking glance at me, her smile anything but genuine. Watching the scene before me, I immediately crouched down, shielding my daughter's disappointed gaze. Mommy ordered you an Elsa princess cake. Let's go home and eat it. She smiled understandingly, took my hand and walked out. Before we even left the banquet hall, Scarlett, clutching her skirt, caught up with me, her eyes red-rimmed. Serafina, are you angry with me? I really didn't mean to. If I had known it was Arya's birthday today, I wouldn't have chosen today to start my job at Adrian Corporation. I was wrong. To make up for it, I just had the MC arrange a performance for Arya to dance on stage. She grabbed her daughter's hand abruptly, dragging her so hard she nearly stumbled and fell. I raised my hand and flung her away. She fell, conveniently, into the arms of Adrian, who was rushing over. Have you lost it? Hitting people in public. I don't expect you to be even a fraction as kind and sensible as Scarlett. Can't you just stop acting like a shrew and embarrassing me everywhere you go? I looked at the face before me, familiar yet alien. My throat was dry with bitterness, but I laughed. There were so many people he could ask. There were security cameras overhead. Any of those methods would tell him instantly who struck first. But he chose to use bias as his brain. Adrian. My gaze was calm, my heart hollow and cold. This reason isn't absurd, right? Make some time to get a divorce. I picked up my daughter, not missing the fleeting flash of joy in Scarlett's eyes. Smiling, I congratulated her. Good acting. I don't want the man anymore. He's yours. But, I said, my face hardening, if you ever try to scheme against my daughter again, I won't be so easy to talk to. Seeing me turn to leave, Adrian grabbed my arm in a panic. When are you going to stop making a scene? Just because you were ridiculously jealous, I publicly acknowledged Scarlett as my sister at today's banquet. What more could you possibly want? Scarlett is always thinking of you, urging me to give you a sense of security. But you act like a crazy woman all day long, lashing out and hurting her. You've changed so much I barely recognize you. Slap. The slap, delivered without hesitation, stunned him in place. Married to Adrian for 7 years, I'd suppressed my sharp edges, learned to be the gentle and attentive woman he liked, supported his career, and focused on taking care of his home front. Even after Scarlett returned to the country, and he began to waver in our marriage, I repeatedly convinced myself that the 3 broken ribs Adrian suffered to marry me weren't a lie. That when our daughter was born he spent billions to build a castle, just to spoil his princess Arya, wasn't a lie either. Now replaying all those memories, I realized that the surface-level endurance and constant concessions weren't as satisfying as one good slap. I looked directly into his eyes, my own tearing up as I smiled. 2 months ago, Arya had a febrile seizure, and you cut off citywide medical care, just because Scarlett's cat ate 2 bites less than usual. A month ago, I was kidnapped, and because Scarlett said she wanted to see the aurora borealis, you thought even calling the police was a waste of time and rushed her to Iceland. Taking a deep breath, my voice gradually grew hoarse. Even at this moment, if she just shed 2 tears, you wouldn't ask why. You'd forget who stole our daughter's birthday party and ruined the cake she picked out. Have you even cared about our daughter for a single moment from beginning to end? Adrian, when you stood on that stage with your arm around them, did you even remember who your wife was? Who your father was? Tell me, how much more am I supposed to be satisfied with? Adrian's expression went blank for a moment, the guilt on his face nowhere to hide. Scarlett's sobs began at just the right moment. Sister Serafina. She grabbed my hand tightly. I'm so sorry, it's all my fault. I shouldn't have come back to the country and caused misunderstandings between you and Adrian G. I'll leave now, disappear forever. You shouldn't fight with Adrian G because of me. Her eyes were red and swollen from crying. Her shoulders trembled slightly. Adrian G has always loved you very much. You'll make him sad if you do this. My eyes turned cold, disgusted to the extreme. Let go. But she acted like she couldn't hear, pressing even closer, grabbing my hand and slapping her own face with it. If you're angry, just hit me, okay? Adrian G is already working so hard for our family. I don't feel bad for him, but you should please, don't hurt Adrian G anymore. As long as you feel better, just hit me, please hit me, don't make things difficult for Adrian G anymore. Her sharp manicure dug deeply into the back of my hand, and beads of blood seeped out little by little. I met the malicious triumph in Scarlett's eyes and returned a slap with my backhand. She fell to the ground, stunned, covering her face. Serafina. Adrian looked at her swollen cheek with heartache, veins bulging on his forehead. Are you crazy? Apologize immediately. I twisted my wrist. Are you blind and deaf? Didn't you hear her begging me to hit her? Want an apology? I swept my gaze over the woman huddled in Adrian's arms, a look of triumph on her face, and snorted coldly. Wait until you send me the signed divorce agreement. I took my daughter's hand and didn't look back. Adrian behind me seemed like he wanted to chase after us, but was pulled back by Scarlett's crying. He roared angrily. Serafina, you stop right there. Who said you could leave? You explain yourself clearly. I don't agree to a divorce. The night wind scattered the sound, and my daughter pulled at me worriedly. Mommy, are you very sad? I froze. She came over and gently wiped the tears from my face. If Mommy's not happy, Arya doesn't need a daddy. Arya just wants Mommy to be happy. My heart felt like it was being twisted fiercely. I hugged my daughter tightly, and suppressed sobs completely escaped. 7 years. Exchanged for a disastrous marriage where we looked at each other with loathing. I resigned myself to fate. Taking out my phone, I dialed a familiar number. Dad, I lost. I agree to go back and inherit your position as the godfather. Good, a lawyer in the country will help you with the divorce. Come back in 7 days. Adrian didn't come home all night. Early the next morning, I saw him, who had never been in the kitchen before, coming out with a bowl of seafood porridge. You're awake? Come and try my cooking. He acted like nothing had happened, as if everything from yesterday hadn't occurred. I didn't move. He sighed softly, walked over and tried to pull me, but I dodged him. Sarah, don't be like this, can we talk things over? I finally looked at him properly. I noticed he was wearing the white shirt I gave him when we first met. It's a pity that even the strongest old feelings can't hide the clumsy and provocative love bites on his neck. He thought my silence meant I was softening because of the shirt. A hint of joy flashed in his eyes. Sarah, we've been together for 7 years. The person I love has always been you. How about we don't get divorced? I walked past him and sat down at the table. You send Scarlett and her son abroad now. Take back Adrian Corporation's shares, and guarantee you'll never contact them again. If you can do that, I won't get divorced. Adrian blurted out without thinking, impossible. As soon as he finished speaking, he met my mocking gaze. His expression changed slightly, and he explained guiltily. Scarlett is in one of the top companies abroad. She's very capable. I hired her just for the development of Adrian Corporation. And she's my sister now. I have a responsibility to take care of her and her son. Caleb is also a sensible and well-behaved child, and with him accompanying Aria's autism will only get better. I did all this for a better life for you and our daughter. I almost couldn't hold back my disgust. Adrian, don't treat everyone like an idiot. You know exactly what kind of people Scarlett and her son are. Divorce or Scarlett, choose one. His face darkened. He didn't expect me to be so stubborn, and he flew into a rage. Serafina, do you really think I can't live without you? Take a good look at yourself now. Without me, you're a worthless piece of trash. I'm going to take care of Scarlett these next few days. You should reflect on yourself. Adrian left, and someone immediately picked me up and took me to my new residence. My father's female lawyer, Naomi, was incredibly efficient. In just half a day, she handed me the divorce agreement with everything clearly divided. Miss Serafina, all real estate, cash funds, and stocks have been properly divided. Now all we need is solid evidence of Mr. Adrian's infidelity from the private investigator, and the success rate is 100%. My phone vibrated. I opened my WeChat moments. Scarlett had just posted a new update. A hollowed-out, minimalist wedding dress. A fair hand lightly caressing her alluring cleavage, extremely provocative. A freshly baked little white rabbit. I wonder who will get to eat it today. In the wine cabinet behind her, a familiar figure wearing only a bath towel was reflected. Scarlett would send me similar borderline provocative images every now and then. Lawyer Naomi frowned. This kind of ambiguousness is hard to use as evidence. I nodded, quickly typing a message and sending it. As long as I'm alive, you'll always be the third wheel. In the past, no matter what she posted, I never reacted. This time, she was full of fighting spirit, and replied almost immediately. Just a photo. In the photo, a man and a woman were rolling around on the sofa, kissing passionately. Only the back of the man's head was visible. I quickly replied, "You're embarrassed to show off a mallard duck, how shameful." This time about an hour passed. A high-definition, uncensored video showing his face was sent. I pursed my lips and didn't open it, but handed the phone to lawyer Naomi. Half an hour later, she told me with a complex expression, "The evidence is sufficient. We just need to wait for the divorce certificate." I turned off the phone and buried myself in the quilt. The next day, as soon as I turned on my phone, dozens of missed calls popped up. I was about to delete them when I accidentally answered the incoming call. "Serafina, where did you go? Why didn't you answer my phone? Do you know I didn't sleep all night looking for you? Do you know how worried I was about you?" I interrupted his nauseating hypocrisy, coldly asking, "You didn't sleep all night, really, because you were looking for me?" He was silent for a few seconds, then weakly retorted, "Can you not think so dirty? I told you I was taking care of Scarlett. Our relationship is completely innocent. Whether it's innocent or not, you know in your heart. The divorce agreement has been sent to you. Remember to sign it. Sera, he called out to me, his voice finally revealing panic. Can we meet? Can we meet and talk properly? I love you. I really don't want to get divorced. I was silent for a long time. He might truly love me, but it's also true that he lusts after Scarlett's body. The separation of sex and love is always a false proposition. A man who is unfaithful to his marriage and irresponsible to his children. I can love him, and I can let him go. There's no need, just throw away all my things. Adrian's voice choked, as if he wanted to say something else. I didn't give him a chance to speak and hung up. In the afternoon, the nanny who picks up the school bus called, saying she didn't see my daughter. My eyelids twitched violently. I quickly called the kindergarten teacher. The reply was, Miss. Scarlett picked her up early. Aria's father specifically told me it was okay. I was fuming, grabbed my car keys, and rushed home. As soon as I arrived at the gate, I saw Adrian's car driving in. Ignoring him, I quickly entered the password and pushed open the door. Without the soundproofing, a piercing scream instantly flooded my ears. It was my daughter's voice. My face turned ashen, and I rushed upstairs like a madwoman. In the bedroom, my daughter was rolling on the floor in agony, her voice hoarse from pain. Half of her face, down her neck, was sizzling and smoking. Scarlett's son, not far away, was holding half a bottle of sulfuric acid, jumping and clapping with glee. Fun, fun. Barbecuing the little bastard is so much fun. Scarlett pulled her son back, feigning concern as she approached me. Serafina, I'm so sorry. Aria insisted on taking Caleb's sulfuric acid experiment, saying she wanted to play a game. I couldn't stop her. I knelt beside my daughter, afraid to touch her, and shakily pulled out my phone to dial 120. Scarlett kept crying in my ear, Serafina, blame me if you want. I just couldn't stop Aria. Don't keep your anger bottled up. Say something, please. Even though Aria's face is ruined, at least her life can be saved. Don't do anything rash. Caleb echoed loudly. She wanted to play a barbecuing herself game. She deserves to die if she burns to death. Adrian, who had followed in, saw the scene before him and rushed in to pull the weeping, collapsing Scarlett up. It was an accident. Aria was being naughty. Scarlett did her best and apologized. Don't make it difficult for her. I'll find the best doctors to save Aria. His tone was so dismissive, as if the person lying on the ground with sulfuric acid splashed on her face, in so much pain she was on the verge of death, was just a cat or a dog, and not the precious daughter he once cherished and feared would melt in his mouth. Consider this a lesson for Aria. She'll learn from this and know what she can touch and what she can't. A lesson? Learn from this? My mind suddenly buzzed. I slowly turned my head, my breathing tightening, and rage boiled through every limb. I grabbed Caleb, who was still sticking out his tongue and making faces at me, and slammed his face down hard on the glass coffee table before he could react. Blood seeped downwards through the cracks in the glass. You like playing games, huh? I picked up the bottle of sulfuric acid that had rolled to the side. You like playing barbecuing, little bastards, huh? Seeing this, Scarlett could no longer keep up the act and screamed in panic. Adrian's expression changed drastically, and he rushed over to pull me away. Serafina, what are you doing? Stop it. I paid no attention, my eyes red with fury, and dragged over the trembling Caleb. Today, Auntie will teach you what real barbecuing is. Just as I was about to move, Adrian grabbed me tightly. His face was livid. If you dare touch Caleb, we're getting a divorce right now. I laughed in extreme anger. Adrian, you still don't understand me. Under his shocked gaze, I directly broke my own arm, and enduring the pain, poured every last drop of the sulfuric acid onto Caleb's crotch. A pig-like scream echoed through the roof. But I smiled, dragging my broken arm. Adrian, you can trample on me, humiliate me, but anyone who dares touch my daughter, I will make them wish they were dead. You all remember this, starting today. If I don't torment you two to death, I'll change my name to yours. Caleb was like a dead mudfish. The pants below his waist almost completely corroded into mush, the flesh underneath flayed open, a black hole gaping where his crotch used to be. Scarlett hugged Caleb and howled in despair. This time her crying was truly heartfelt. The look she gave me was poisonous. She wished she could tear me into a million pieces. Serafina, you dared to ruin my son's manhood. You won't have a good death. I coldly curled my lips. No more pretending? She gritted her teeth and cursed. I won't let you go. Caleb's biological father is the adopted son of a T-country mafia godfather. You ruined his lineage. Just wait to be chopped up and fed to the dogs. Upon hearing about the T-country mafia godfather, even Adrian, the richest man in Jiang City, couldn't help but pale. It was said that the man controlled half of Asia's gray market forces, had connections in both legal and illegal worlds, and even had life-and-death friendships with the European and American mafia. He was a veritable underground emperor. 10 years ago, after his beloved wife was assassinated, he disappeared overnight with all his forces. When he reappeared, his mysterious organization had spread all over the world, infiltrating all the cutting-edge industries such as scientific research, medicine, aerospace, artificial intelligence, and his core forces were present in all of them. Although he had ostensibly laundered his money, Adrian knew very well that his gray market forces had never disappeared. To eliminate someone, he could do it silently. Thinking of this, he couldn't help but break out in cold sweat, pointing at me and scolding in exasperation. Serafina, look at what you've done. Ignoring my pain, he grabbed my broken arm and threw me in front of Scarlet. Kneel down and kowtow, apologize to Scarlet. Quickly, if you don't want to die, you have to show sincere repentance. Caleb's father is the adopted son of mafia godfather Donovan. Killing you would be easier than killing an ant. Kowtow quickly, kowtow 100 times. No, 100 is too few, make it 1,000. Don't stop until Scarlet forgives you. Scarlet gritted her teeth, her eyes filled with resentful hatred. You think you can repent with kowtowing? You wish. She threw a knife. Slash your own face, and then sever your tendons in your hands and feet. Adrian picked up the knife and urged her. What are you waiting for? Hurry up and do it. Sarah, without a face and limbs, at least you'll have your life. You have to know what's more important. I'm doing this all for your own good. I looked at the man who was constantly urging me. His voice was frantic and shrill, not thinking of me, but afraid of being implicated himself. I suddenly felt absurd and ridiculous. I had actually loved such a disgusting man for 7 years. In order to bet with my father about his sincerity, I gave up everything to be with him. How foolish. I took a deep breath, pushed him away and stood up. Want me to kowtow to Scarlet? Don't dream about it. Ignoring his stunned gaze, I kicked the knife at my feet back to Scarlet's side. Seeing her jump in fright, I sneered. Want to kill me? Fine, bring it on. I want to see who dares to chop me up and feed me to the dogs. When lawyer Naomi arrived with the ambulance, Adrian still wanted to get physical with me. Without saying a word, she slapped him in the face. Looking at my twisted and dangling arm, she couldn't help but scold Adrian angrily. Even an animal is more human than you. As the ambulance crew put me and my daughter on the stretcher, I didn't forget to hand the divorce agreement to Adrian, enduring the pain. Now, are you still unwilling to divorce? He took the documents almost without hesitation and quickly signed his name. Under my mocking gaze, he could still shamelessly chase after me. Sarah, I love you, I will protect you. Lawyer Naomi couldn't bear it any longer and slapped him again. Ms. Serafina is truly cursed to have run into a man like you. My arm wasn't a big problem, but my daughter's face was seriously injured. The doctor shook his head upon examination. I contacted the connections my father had left me and used a helicopter to send my daughter to a secret medical research facility overseas. Lawyer Naomi stood by my side, not asking me about my next plan, just quietly accompanying me. I looked at the gloomy sky outside the window, and vaguely remembered that the day I first met Adrian was also like this. After my mother died, I hated that my father was so powerful, yet couldn't even protect his own wife. The day I ran away from home in anger, I was targeted. After a narrow escape from death, I fainted in a dark alley. In my hazy consciousness, a broad back jostled me awake. Don't sleep, we'll be at the hospital soon. If you fall asleep now, you won't wake up. Think of your family. I lied to him on a whim. I have no family. He hesitated for 2 seconds, then said without hesitation. Then I'll be your family from now on. Just live for me, please. Later, I really did live for him. And for him, I made a 7-year agreement with my father. I was determined to win Adrian's 7 years. My father laughed at my naivety. At that time, Adrian hugged me, huddled in a 20 square meter rented room, and shoved the last steamed bun into my hands. Sarah, I'll make something of myself. When I have money, I'll definitely let you live in a big house, eat all the food you want, and give you the grandest wedding in the world. Sarah, I love you, only you. I leaned in his arms, feeling that even his heartbeat was moving. I used the private wealth my mother left me, as a secret investor, to help Adrian rise rapidly. Everyone told me that a man's first act after succeeding is to cut off his beloved. I didn't believe it, convinced that Adrian was unique. But Scarlett's appearance was like an unexpected slap, waking me up from my delusion. His love was like a receding tide, leaving only a desolate mudflat. My hysteria became unreasonable, nagging in his eyes. From spirit to body, he was completely tainted, no longer the man in the dark alley who gave me redemption with a heart full of sincerity. I took a deep breath and instructed lawyer Naomi, "Help me prepare for the Adrian Corporation's shareholders meeting. This time, I'm going to use my veto power to remove Adrian from his position as chairman." From my anonymous investment in Adrian Corporation to now, I have become the largest shareholder of Adrian Corporation. I own a veto power, but no one knows that person is me. When I loved Adrian, I was willing to stay behind the scenes and elevate him to the highest position. When I don't love him, he can't even be a good-for-nothing. The next day, I sat in the main seat of the Adrian Corporation's conference room with all the relevant evidence. When Adrian arrived, he was with Scarlett, who looked haggard. As soon as she saw me in the main seat, she screamed, "What are you? Adrian has already divorced you. You have no right to sit here." Adrian's eyebrows were furrowed so tightly that they could kill a fly, with a hint of unease. Lawyer Naomi smiled and replied for me, "Allow me to remind you too, Ms. Serafina is not here as anyone's spouse. Her position is as the largest shareholder of Adrian Corporation, holding 51% of the shares, and possessing a veto power." She spread several complete sets of documents on the table. "Mr. Adrian, I'm informing you now that you have no right to succeed as CEO of the Adrian Group. As of today, there is no place for you in the Adrian family. As for Ms. Scarlett, Ms. Serafina, in her capacity as the new chairperson, is formally firing you. Now the two of you are the ones who should get out." Adrian was caught off guard by the unbelievable truth. His face alternated between green and white. He never expected that I, a mere orphan, would be the original secret investor of the Adrian Group. He restrained his temper and rubbed his temples. "Sarah, don't be ridiculous. I know you're angry that I signed the divorce agreement, but I did it to protect the Adrian Group and our daughter. You hurt Caleb, his father won't let you off. You don't want to drag our whole family down because of your mistake, do you? I was forced to do it." He wore a concerned and earnest expression. "Listen to me, transfer all your 51% of the shares to me now, apologize and atone to Scarlett, and I'll put in a good word for you. Don't worry, even if you can't remarry me after you get through this, I'll still keep you outside. After all, after 7 years of relationship, I still love you." When people are extremely angry, they really want to laugh. I suppressed my disgust and cut straight to the chase. "Adrian, if you don't get out of the Adrian Group, the 51% of the shares I hold will appear in the hands of your competitors at the lowest market price tomorrow. I believe that by then, it won't be as simple as just getting out." As soon as these words came out, all the shareholders present could no longer sit still. "President Adrian, please have mercy and give us a way out. My son is still studying abroad, and it costs more than 1,000,000 yuan a year. My family just bought a villa, and I don't want it to be auctioned off. President Adrian, please sign quickly. Sacrificing one person can save all of us. You can't be too selfish." Scarlett trembled with anger. "You old things, if it weren't for Adrian, would you have been able to get so many dividends and live so comfortably these past few years? Now you're turning your backs on him. Don't you have any shame?" Someone immediately rolled their eyes. "I think the one who really has no shame is you. Graduating from a foreign pheasant university, and not even knowing how to photocopy documents, you have the nerve to call yourself an elite talent. Tui, bringing such a big son and still coming out to be a mistress, making a living as a prostitute, and pretending to be pure. There is no woman in this world more shameless than you. That's right, if you know what's good for you, get out quickly. The Adrian Group's territory smells like a slut. Scarlett almost vomited blood. She had never been publicly humiliated like this in her life. Her sharp nails almost poked my nose, and she sneered repeatedly, "Serafina, you're so capable. I've already notified Caleb's father, and he's coming here soon. So what if you sit on the chairperson's seat of the Adrian Group? In less than 2 hours, your body will be in pieces, black and blue all over. Cherish your remaining time. You won't be laughing soon." Adrian sighed helplessly. "Sarah, I've been thinking of you in every way, but you insist on having your own way. Now I can't save you. Even if you transfer all the shares to me immediately, I can only guarantee you a complete corpse. There's not much time left. Hurry up and complete the formalities. Don't worry, after you die, I'll pick a good feng shui treasure land to bury you properly, as a conclusion to our marriage." Naomi couldn't stand it anymore and retorted, "Adrian, have some shame. It's one thing to not mind a second-hand woman, but you even lick her heels clean. For a man to be like you, it's truly disgusting. Let me tell you, even if Caleb's father, that little lapdog, comes, let alone the godfather himself, they wouldn't dare to touch Ms. Serafina." As soon as the words left her mouth, a series of smashing and screaming erupted outside the office. Scarlett's lips curled into a bloodthirsty smirk. "Serafina, your death is at hand." The door was kicked open with a bang, and a group of coarse, cursing men stormed in. Leading them was a burly, obese man weighing at least 200 pounds. A thick gold chain hung around his neck, and he kicked over a chair as he entered. The moment Scarlett saw him, she went limp and threw herself into his arms, tears streaming down her face. "Rocco, you're finally here. If you hadn't come, I would have been forced to death by this woman." She pointed at me, accusing me with hatred. It was her. She used sulfuric acid to ruin Caleb's manhood and end your bloodline. Caleb is still lying in the hospital. You must avenge him. I frowned, suspicion flashing in my eyes. Scarlett had been saying that Caleb's father was the godfather's adopted son, so I assumed my father had cultivated a new successor in the years I was gone. But seeing this crude and ugly pig, I didn't know whether to say Scarlett had low standards or laugh at her foolishness. Rocco glared with his beady eyes, the fat on his face quivering. "Brothers, drag this woman out and deal with her. Life or death doesn't matter. She dared to cut off my bloodline. I'll make sure she never has one." The men behind him grinned, cracking their knuckles as they surrounded me, spewing vulgarities. Naomi blocked me, her face cold. "I advise you to get out of here now while you still have a chance to escape. In 10 minutes, none of you will leave this office." Naomi had already notified my father when Rocco and his men barged in. Under me, they might be spared their lives. But those who had witnessed my father's methods were now buried under 2 meters of weeds. But Rocco and the others just laughed hysterically. One of them fawned. "This bitch is scared out of her mind, right? No one dares to make our Rocco run for his life. The Godfather, Donovan, you know him? One word from him can make all of Asia tremble. He's Rocco's godfather." Rocco raised his eyebrows smugly. "What are you blabbing about with this wild hen? Just deal with her, right here, right now." Scarlett pulled out her phone, trembling with excitement. "I'm going to film this so the whole internet can see Serafina's slutty face." Adrian frowned, looking somewhat uncomfortable, and urged anxiously, "Sarah, stop being stubborn. Just kneel down and beg Rocco for forgiveness. If they really start fighting, you won't survive." I glanced at him indifferently, watching them approach and counting down the time in my head. 1 minute later, the roar of a helicopter echoed from behind. A clear voice came through the walkie-talkie. "Miss, step back." I pulled Naomi back a few steps. At the moment everyone's jaws dropped, the massive helicopter crashed through the glass French windows. A rope ladder dropped down, and under the rapidly spinning rotors, dozens of well-trained men in black suits and sunglasses jumped out. Without a word, in less than 10 seconds, all the men on the scene were lying on the ground, silent. Rocco, trembling his obese body, huddled in a corner, looking at the gleaming Donovan on their suit collars, a fishy stench involuntarily spreading beneath him. Scarlett, still not understanding the situation, said, "Rocco, they're from the Donovan family, sent by your godfather. Quick, tell them to kill Serafina." Even Rocco, as stupid as he was, could see that I was being protected in the middle, treated with utmost care. Shut your mouth. He was so scared his tongue was tied. He saw the leading man in black walk up to him, sneering as if looking at trash. Cut off your own tongue, or do I have to help you? Rocco hurriedly grabbed a knife from the ground, closed his eyes, and forcefully cut his own tongue, managing to squeeze out a trembling, flattering smile. Scarlet was completely dumbfounded, still not recovered, when a sentence dropped from above, chilling her to the bone. So it's you who brought people to bully our miss? She trembled backward, her face pale, unable to say a word. Adrian, hiding to the side, watched the respect these people had for me, hearing them call me miss one after another. His heart was already churning with shock. He quickly rushed up, feigning deep affection, wanting to pull me away. Sarah, you're actually the daughter of a mafia godfather? That's great. Nothing will happen to you from now on. I can finally rest assured. We'll remarry right away. That bitch Scarlet dared to hurt you. I'll send her to Africa immediately. I promise from now on, you'll be the only woman for me. I smiled coldly, without expressing my opinion. Scarlet, knowing she was doomed, threw caution to the wind and started cursing loudly. Adrian, you good for nothing. Weren't you quite energetic when you were sleeping with me? You personally told me in bed that Serafina was a washed-up hag, that you were long tired of her. What? Now that you see her status is different, you're rushing to lick her boots. Serafina is Donovan's daughter. You treated her and your daughter that way before. Do you think she'll let you off? I will die, but don't think you'll get away with it. Shut up, you bitch. Adrian suddenly flew into a rage, slapping her face again and again. If you hadn't seduced me, how could I have wronged Sarah? It's all you. Yes. It's all your fault, you bitch. If you die, Sarah will feel relieved and she won't blame me. He gasped for breath, his eyes bloodshot, grabbing the knife Rocco had thrown aside and stabbing it hard into Scarlet's stomach. One stab wasn't enough, he added another. Scarlet, like a dehydrated dead fish, collapsed to the ground, convulsing with wide eyes. Adrian, holding his blood-stained hands, smiled at me as if seeking credit. Sarah, look, no one can stop us anymore. Shall we remarry? My face was indifferent, without a trace of emotion. I was too lazy to even glance at him. Turning around and climbing the boarding ladder, Adrian chased after me like a madman, shouting hysterically, Sarah, don't go. I beg you. I can't live without you. Think about Arya, she can't be without her father. Responding to him were the police, breaking down the door with handcuffs. A month later, thanks to the latest skin grafting technology, my daughter's facial skin was restored to its original state. At the same time, Naomi brought news. Scarlet died of her injuries, and Adrian was sentenced to death. In prison, he kept yelling that he was Mr. Donovan's son-in-law and wouldn't die. The next day, he was silenced. After hearing this, I nodded without any emotion. My daughter rubbed her eyes, stood at the door of the room, and called me softly and sweetly, Mommy, I want a bedtime story. My heart warmed, and I responded with a smile. Okay, Mommy will be right there.